Well, good morning, ladies and friends, and welcome back to That's What She Said. We are here to celebrate women and share a few stories in our She Said studio in downtown Champaign. Is everyone having a good morning, enjoying your coffee?
Great morning.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, we have a very special show for you today. Please join me in welcoming our guest, Sharon Allen of Sterling Wealth Management.
My hero.
Financial planners in downtown Champaign, and she's going to share a load of information. So grab a pen and a piece of paper because you are not going to want to miss this. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you.
So we are here to learn and share, and you own your own financial planning company. Tell us how you got started and where you come from and what drives you.
Oh gosh, that is such a loaded question. Do you ask this of all of your guests?
Yes. Only the good ones.
And then throw in the meaning of life at the end.
Yes.
Right, wrap it
Yes.
up.
42, that's all I have to say.
Yep.
42.
Yep.
There you go. And so I started Sterling Wealth Management, a private wealth management firm with my husband. So we put all our eggs in that one basket. In 2004, we had two little guys at home, and we had a dream, and my professional dream is to be an agent of change in the industry. So that's what gets me up every morning and really motivates me to do what I want to do. And I, on a personal note, really have a heart for empowering women in finances and just to make good decisions and to feel confident in what they're doing. So anyway, more about that later, but...
Well, I will say to the average person or the average woman or mom, the concept of financial planning seems like a scary one. So at what stage of life do you think a woman needs to sit down with a financial planner or be introduced to financial management? What's that starting moment?
Yeah, great question.
Birth.
As early as possible.
Yeah.
I really think that it's never too early. Even if you're young and in college, or if you're, older and retired, first marriage, second marriage, no marriage, it doesn't really matter. I think the sooner you can start thinking about it, the more successful you'll be, because the research shows us 95% of us are going to be controlling the family finances at some point in time or another, which is staggering.
And by us, you're referring to the women of the family, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's a big responsibility. That's a big number.
So I am that woman. I am the woman that, seriously, I pit out the second anybody starts talking about money or financial planning. It makes me very nervous, and it's like the only time Lamaze breathing came in handy and actually worked for me. You just say money and I start like
Money Lamaze.
Money Lamaze. See, you marry those worlds.
And so you need a good coach to help you.
See. So that's when somebody like Sharon, like where would you, like, what tips would you even have for someone like me? Like, where do you even start?
When you talked about the importance of just starting, do you mean like, all right, this morning I'm going to wake up and say to Gary, all right, I'm going to pay the bills today or this month? Or do you mean something more basic, like make me a list of where our money is and what we intend to do with it? Because we go through this at our house, but I've never taken hold and done it myself.
Yeah. And you're not alone. A lot of women are in that boat. I think something real basic. Just start the conversation. That's the key. And a lot of women feel intimidated to even start the conversation, to say, hey, honey, I know you've been handling all the finances. Can you just give me an overview of where we're at over your cup of coffee in the morning or something like that? And just get a real basic overview. I think that's a great way to start. It doesn't have to be complicated.
We sat down with somebody not long ago, and it was real interesting to me. He said, so what's important to you? And I'd never had anybody ask that question before. And I said, well, it's not important to me really to leave a lump of sum to my grandkids. It's not even terribly important to me to leave a lump of sum of money to my kids. But what's important to me is that there's always money there when my grandkids want to take mission trips. And so I said to him, create something for me where there will be an avenue to leave money for my grandkids so that there's always money there if they want to go away. Mm-hmm. And he didn't look at me like I was weird for suggesting it. He just said, it's important because it's important to you.
That's amazing.
Is that the kind of thing that you do with your clients? Is that a kind of thing you recommend women expecting from their wealth planner?
There it is. I think a lot of women don't know, what are the services that you provide? Like, do we come to you with setting up banking accounts, or what types of investments? Like, what are the basic services that you provide your clients?
Sure. Well, so the financial services industry is super huge, right? And it's everything from banking to just asset management, investment management, to just financial planning, to wealth management, which is kind of coordinating all of those things. So if what you're wanting to do is to get a handle of what's happening in your finances overall, you probably want to find somebody who's more focused in financial planning or wealth management, because what they're going to do is they're going to talk to you about everything from soup to nuts. They'll talk to you about budgeting. They'll talk to you about investments and insurances and legacy, which is what you're talking about, Carol. You know, how do I do something that will take care of my children in this way, or my grandchildren in that way? And you want somebody that's not going to try and prescribe for you what they just prescribed for Crystal. You know, you want somebody that's going to see you as different, distinct, and unique for who you are.
That's a good point. At what age do you normally see women come to you for financial advice or planning or those types of things?
You know, I try to cultivate relationships all over the place.
Yeah.
So I see women who are in, just starting off trying to raise a family, to women who are retired and more transitioning into that season in life. Lots of times I'll see women when they're going through a transition. So like buying or selling a house, or near and dear to your heart, I know. Divorce. They're inheriting money. They're switching careers. They're graduating from college and they're going to be inheriting money. So it's that transition moment that really drives women a lot of times to try and find somebody that can help them work through the issues. Sometimes when there are married couples, a lot of times I find the husbands will seek out an advisor to help take care of their wife. So we've had that on several occasions. So it's kind of an interesting scenario.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is for women to have money that's in their own name, or assets that are in their own name rather than their husband or joint?
That's
Good question.
That's a loaded question.
Give us the quick and dirty.
Okay, so the quick and dirty is there's two sides to finance. There is the, analytical number crunching side of finance, and there's the behavioral side of finance. Your question goes really more to the behavioral side. And so for you, maybe there's a different motivation to have something in your own name than somebody else. I think the dynamics of how you as a couple handle your money is a really good one. And maybe you could even ask each other this question. What's important to you about money? What's your earliest memory about money? I know. And you learn a lot.
That's a good question. Your earliest memory of
about
money.
money.
What's your earliest memory?
Tithing. Yeah,
Yeah,
at church.
mine too.
Yeah,
10%.
10%.
We always
My
had-
allowance.
Yeah, we got $1 for
Yeah.
allowance, and
Yeah.
10 cents had to go to the church.
Yep,
Yeah.
too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got this thing called a money mama for our kids. And it's my mother-in-law. I can't claim the idea. It's brilliant, though, at teaching kids fiscal responsibility. And so those of us who have children, most women, we're juggling so many different things. This balancing act is really difficult to manage on top of the money piece. But anyway, so it's like a mama pig and then 3 little pigs in front. And it's adorable. It comes with a book and a DVD. And so what we did is we said, okay, kids, you get an allowance. And you put 10%. There's a giving piggy, an investing piggy, a saving piggy,
I want the piggies.
and the money mama.
I love that.
Isn't
The
that
money
adorable?
mama.
The money mama. So they put 10% in each one of the little piggies and the rest in the money mama. And so
love
that's
that.
so
Yeah.
I wish I had that money memory, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Mine was, I want a pair of Jordache jeans. I know that sounds so materialistic, but I know. I'm like, okay, I want a pair of Jordache jeans. So I just tried to save my money for that.
Well, it sounds like in your house, you were expected to take that 10% off the top. So
Yes.
is that something that sticks with you as an adult?
Yes, I probably do more than 10% now, but I usually give every pay period to something. It may not be to a church, it may be to a person or an organization or something like that.
So you kind of don't even consider that 10% belonging to you?
No.
So it's those habits, I
Yeah.
think that, you think get formed so early on, or our attitude about money, and now that's just a way of life for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you ask yourself that question, just like now, you begin to discover your money personality. Like, what is your money DNA? So as a professional, I help people kind of walk through that process.
Is there a test for that?
No, I should. Maybe there is, but I should create
Blood
one, right?
test?
Right.
Make it nice and easy.
What's your money DNA? But yeah.
Have you ever
to do that.
considered doing a mini class for women, perhaps in the She Said office?
Absolutely.
Perhaps right now. Surprise!
And we'll be taking registrations right after this.
No, actually,
serious.
no, coffee talks. Yes. So I'm trying to work on creating that community. So the thing that's awesome about women is this. We're sitting here having our coffee. Cheers. Cheers for coffee. And what we're doing is we're developing relationships, and we're talking about something that for a lot of people seems really scary. But when you're in a smaller group of women, it's not so scary.
I want to just touch on what you said about your purpose in empowering women and how it's great to sit around and have coffee and talk, because that's what we want She Said to be all about, is this opportunity to educate ourselves, to learn, to be inspired, to have some coffee or some wine, let's be real, and have a good time, but also learn and grow. So I want to thank Sharon for coming and sharing with us. To wrap things up, you said you have a couple major tips for women or for anyone, but how to get started or what you should keep in mind when you are preparing to meet with a financial advisor, where you're preparing to take a look at your finances.
Yeah. Besides educating yourself, I think another tip would be to make a plan. Even if you're not a planner, start a plan. And it's not a one and done thing. That would be a big mistake. Just start to, identify, where do I want to be? Where do I imagine myself being in a year, 5 years, 10 years? And you could write a love letter to yourself. You could write a dream letter to yourself and say, you know what, I want to be here, and this is what I want my life to look like. And it's not just money, it is life. And it's all interconnected, because money is sort of the engine that helps you be able to do the things that you dream about, right? So it's important not to ignore it, but just write that letter to yourself. Make sure you revisit it. Another tip I would have is to ensure that you surround yourself with professionals and people that you just really love and that support you. Create that support network on a personal and professional level. So on a professional level, it can be accountants, it can be attorneys, it can be wealth managers like ourselves, planners, investment managers, bankers, trust officers, insurance specialists. There's a whole list of people professionally that can help you with finances and different pieces of your financial life. And then on a personal level, well, that's unique to everybody, right? Just somebody you can trust and bare your soul to and will support you. And then the last thing I would say is make sure that you honor work-life balance. Everyone, and I call it integration, actually, not balance, because it's integrated. You can't separate one from the other. Right. And everyone's work is different. So I could go to my business and I could meet with God. That's my work. But your work might be mission related. So it might not be something that you're, getting a paycheck for, but it's something you're passionate about. And that's what you put your energies toward. And that's what I'm saying, because in that balance, in that integration, you've got to make sure you make time for yourself. Otherwise, that stress causes bad financial mojo. You just make bad decisions when you're under moments of stress. So those are some just general tips that I thought would.
I think those are some really great tips for life in general. So I love that it ties over to your personal finances and to everything that we strive to improve in our lives. So I want to thank you, Sharon, for coming to join us. Tell our friends how they can find you if they wanted to reach out to you with financial questions or about your services.
Sure. So if you're interested in connecting with me, our website is a wealth of information. It's sterlingwealthmanagement.com.
Pun intended, right?
It's the longest URL ever. Email is hello@sterlingwealthmanagement.com.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, hello. And that would probably be the easiest way.
Excellent. Well, I hope we're all feeling enlightened and educated, and we're going to go and make lots of money and happy mojo.
See, what happens is when Sharon talks about it, look at me, not sweating.
Yeah, we're not sweating.
I'm not sweating.
You're not doing
My
Lamaze.
breathing. Yep. I love you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Because Sharon has a gift. She has a gift of making talking about money comfortable and easy for everyone. So
Thank you.
This was such an awesome educational show for us today. We want to thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, that's what she said.
That's what Sharon said.
That's what she said. Today's episode was presented by Christie Foundation. Thank you to our sponsors, Christie Foundation, Bank Champagne for our studio space, Texture Home for our set, and Columbia Street Roastery. Thanks so much.
I can do this. I can attack money. I can think budget. I'm going to send some invoices. I'm going to write some checks. I got this. You know what? Just pull myself together. Just got to pull. Focus. I can do this, doggone it. I can. Sharon said I can. If Sharon said it, it's true. Okay, maybe later. Namaste. Namaste, sister.